that coffee, get your mind right, and vibe with the queen herself. We're dishing out hot topics, wellness tips of the day, and things that make you go, Let's get this palace party started.
All right. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the palace. Mic check 1, 2, 3. Mic check 1, 2, 3. It is Tuesday morning, and I don't know if we're going to come in hot today. I don't know. You know how it is. It's a natural evolution over here. We kind of like, I really enjoy it. Thank you, American Born. Thank you, Linda Gamble. Let me know I'm coming through loud and clear. You know, I just like to put the topics out there and then see where it takes us. And this one, I don't know. This is a very interesting one because I heard it and I synced it myself. So for those of you, if you're new to this channel, welcome. Thank you for pulling up. We call ourselves the Palace. I'm Queen Sheba. I hone in on a variety of y'all, what's my thing? The most important thing is, what is it? I hone in on the psychological and the behavioral traits of the Black experience. Damn, it's early. I'm on my cup of coffee. I tried to wait and space it out, but I should have had it before I pulled up because the queen. What's my little intro, y'all? My brain ain't ready. Listen, it's still morning where I'm at. Some of you on a different time zone, but you know what the hell I'm trying to say. Good morning and welcome, everybody. Good morning and welcome. I appreciate all of you being here. We're going to go in today. And I want this to be a conversation for people that are open-minded. For people that are open-minded. One thing I'm starting to discover and I'm starting to see in real time, based on comments, based on reactions, it's not that people disagree, right? I think that's lovely. I think the more diverse the dialogue, the better it is for platforms, whether it's YouTube, a podcast, whatever. I appreciate that. But it's some of you, I really feel like you really should sit back and assess if you should be on social media or not. Because some of you, your emotions, they're just unexplainable. And I ain't never seen nothing like it before. Welcome to my Twitter people that are tuned in over there on the other side of glory. Welcome, Twitter. I appreciate you. Thank you to Latrice for pushing out the content on Twitter. You always do a marvelous job with that. I appreciate you. But listen, welcome everybody. But some of y'all, and as I'm sitting here, I'm like, you know what? Focus on the topic, focus on the talking points, focus on the message and not the messenger. The commentary ain't about me, boo. The commentary ain't about you. Drop it in the comments. You do not have to agree. But some of you mofos are too damn sensitive for my taste and my liking. I had somebody over there on Instagram, y'all. Listen. Now, don't tell me Black people don't act up. And I'm about to get into today's topic, but I have something I need to get off my chest. Okay. I went on a cruise last week. And as I arrived to the terminal, the lines were completely backed up. Come to find out, there was a brawl, an all-out brawl. Okay. Carnival Jubilee, one of the biggest, newest cruise ships. It was built in 2023, 2 years in the making. Very excited. Spent a lot of money to get on this mofo and experience it. There was a brawl. 24 people have been placed on the do not cruise list. I looked at my husband and he looked at me. And my husband said, "Oh, Lord, I think Black folks were fighting." I said, "No, it wasn't. It wasn't us. No, it wasn't." He said, "A brawl. The only people I know that will lose their cool like that and just have a brawl on vacation." He said it. I was like, nah. So we get there, the steward, the porter. I said, "Hey, what's happening?" He said, "Well, there's going to be a delay, right? With everybody getting on the ship because 2 families." And look, the man said 2 Black families were fighting over 24 people. I said, "Lord have mercy." My husband said, "I told you." I said, "No." I said, "What happened?" Listen to this. He said, "Well, the fight started on the cruise ship. They got into a fight over a game of basketball." Okay. On the damn cruise ship, right? Yeah. So they come in after the 7-day cruise, y'all, and finish the freaking fight in the terminal. Who does that? They did. Who does that? They did. Finish the freaking, it went viral. It went viral. It's all over the internet. World Star. It was on the news, everything. To the point my moderator reached out and said, "Hey, I think that's where you are. Are you okay? I said, actually, they were coming off. We were getting on. And guess what it did? It impacted everybody's opportunity to get on the ship. So that led into me stumbling up on an Instagram post of this lady, this black lady, right, who refused to get off of it's called a help me out. A tender, a tender is where this little ship comes to get you and take you back and forth to the ship. She refused to get off because she didn't have a bracelet. You're supposed to have a bracelet to get in. And they said, listen, we cannot pull off until you get off. We got to be able to get these people back and forth on time. You know, people pay for shore excursions. That's a lot of money. I'm sorry. Most American people have average incomes. And when they go on vacation, and I'm saying this because a lot of you are selfish, self-centered. You don't think about anybody else or how your actions, your behaviors, your words will impact everybody else. So this lady refused to get off the tender because she didn't have a bracelet. And although it may have been a misunderstanding, ma'am, go fix it. Why would you punish everybody else that have paid for their shore excursions if you don't get off the tender? These people, all of these good people, black, white, kids, older people are going to miss their excursions. Okay. And yeah, they may get their money back, but that's not the point. They would have to come all the way back on another cruise. So she refused to get off. I simply made a comment in the comments. Damn, I'm starting to see a pattern, and it looks like it's us. One lady comes on and says this to me, right? This is what I mean. Some of you need to stay off social media. She says, I'm shocked that you would say this, and I'm just paraphrasing. I'm shocked that you would say this, Queen Sheba, because I listen to your podcast and I would think that you're smarter, but I guess not. I guess you forgot to pause. God bless you. First of all, ma'am, it ain't about me. I'm not the one on the fucking tender that refused to get off and I'm impacting everybody's vacation. I simply said, I'm starting to see a pattern and it just may be us sometimes. This ain't about everybody else. She sure did. Listen, not the pause. What you say to Latrice, not the pause. Yeah, she did. Ma'am, it's not about me. We all can comment like anybody else. But see, let me tell you something. A lot of you just be waiting to take your shot at the messenger. So, as a reminder for today, this is going to be probably a hot topic. I am going to say some things both on the left side of the fence and on the right side of the fence. Focus on the message, not the person. A lot of times I troll the hell out of y'all just to get you shaking and rattling in your boots, not because I believe what I'm saying. I just like to play devil's advocate. It makes for a great conversation. That's it. That's all. If it becomes above your emotional capacity, log off. That's it. That's all. People have a right to say and feel what they want here. We don't police, we don't troll. As long as you're not calling somebody out their name, you good to go. Understood? Let's get into it. That's all I'm saying. Let's get into it. Samantha LV says there are certain people I don't play with: pilots, flight attendants, crews, TSA, bus drivers, government officials, food service workers, or service people, period. Period. Because I know how to get what I want. A nice please, thank you. Is there somebody else I can talk to? As a matter of fact, let me tell you what happened to me before I start. I tend to prefer to like to do a cash account. And every night when I book a cruise, the night before, I'll put $500 on my account just so that when we get on the ship, we go. The reason why I don't put more is because anything can happen. And a lot of times that cash account, depending on what you put it on, is non-refundable. You lose it. So I'll start with $500 the night before. Long story short, I put $500 like I've always done. I get into the cruise ship. I'm about to buy a glass of champagne. It said that my account had insufficient funds. Watch this. Insufficient funds. I go to the front desk. I tell my husband, that must be a mistake. No big deal. Let me go. Come to find out, the funds were allocated either as human error, meaning my era, or it was a system era, meaning Carnival. Come to find out, y'all, it was $500 in photo credits. Now, you know damn well I'm not finna buy no damn $500 and no damn photos. Ma'am, no ma'am. So I said it, the lady said, well, I'm sorry. And welcome Tea Talk with your girl. I see y'all shouting her out. I didn't see her, but welcome, welcome, welcome everybody. Thank you for pulling up to the palace. So I go to the front desk. The first lady says, I'm sorry. There's a non-refundable policy. I said, what does that mean? I am not going to take the photos. She said, sorry. I said, what happens if I don't use it? She said, we get to keep it. I said, wow. She's like, yeah, that's just the rules. I said, there has to be something you can do. She said, there's nothing we can do. I go back and forth. I'm trying to keep calm. I said, there has to be something. She said, there's nothing. I said, who is the right person I need to talk to? She says, call the 1-800 number. I step aside. I call the 1-800 number. The 1-800 number says, are you on board the ship? I said, yes, I'm on board the ship. She said, they can change it. I said, are you kidding me? She goes, yeah. They have the power to change it. There's a system they can go into and they can change it. I said, oh, I know you lying. Not like that, but I'm just being entertaining. I go back to the front desk. I said, I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm on the phone with the 1-800 number, the customer experience. She said that you can change it. The lady said, I told you that we couldn't. I said, who else can I talk to? She says she's going to tell you the same thing. I said, that's not my question. My question, ma'am, is who else can I talk to? She goes, ma'am, my supervisor, but she's going to tell you the same thing. I said, I understand that. May I talk to her, please? Now, I'm still trying to keep a low, even keel tone voice. She goes to get her supervisor. They go in the back. Her supervisor comes out annoyed. I get it. I get it. Most of these people are foreign workers. They don't like working with Americans because we tend to be a what? A handful. Not all of us, but it doesn't matter. I tell you, oftentimes you get looped in one bucket as Americans. She comes out. I can see she's ready to go. I said, hi. She says, yeah, she's already explained to me what's going on with your account. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do. Call the 1-800 number. I said, actually, I have the 1-800 number on the phone. She's shocked, right? This is the supervisor on the ship. We haven't even pulled off yet. She said, yeah, oh, you have them on the phone? I said, yeah, she's here. She said that all you have to do is go into a software and you can change it. She goes, ma'am, I'm telling you. I said, well, first of all, ma'am, don't tell me anything because I don't work for Carnival. You don't have to explain it to me. You may want to explain it to her. It seems like there seems to be a miscommunication for both of you who are Carnival representatives. You don't have to explain the software to me. Here she is. I'll put her on speakerphone. They go back and forth. The first lady gets off the phone. The supervisor basically looks at me and said, well, all we can do is send an email on your behalf. I said, okay, thank you. I was pissed. But before I walked off, I said, ma'am, can I offer you a word of advice? She said, yeah. I said, in the future, my recommendation is please don't escalate with your customers. I know you deal with a lot. I know you get a lot of problems, and I know you deal with a lot of unkind people. I'm not one of them. I'm not looking for anything free. My money means just as much to me as yours do to you. So I noticed that you were escalating, you were raising your voice, and it took everything for me not to match your energy. Customers tend to follow your lead. And if you escalate, the average person will escalate right with you. In the future, can you please pause? That lady looked at me and said, well, thank you for your feedback, and stormed off. The next day, my husband said, are you going to go down and check on your money? I said, maybe later. The second day, he said, are you going to go down and check on your money? I said, absolutely not. He goes, why? I said, the more I ask about it, the more I get involved. At this point, either it's a hit or a miss. Either they're going to give it to me or they're not. But if I go back down there and I'm going to start back from square one, I'm going to be in my feelings. Fuck it. I'm not going to worry about it. Lo and behold, as soon as I surrendered, guess what happened? I was going to the casino, checked my account, and saw I have a surplus. Baby, they gave me my damn money back. Sometimes all it takes is a little bit of time and patience. A little bit of time and patience. That's it. That's all. I got my money back. That's it. That's all. I don't know if I'm nice. Moonchild said, you're so nice, queen. I would have been mad, but not. I'm patient. That's a I'm patient. You see what I'm saying? I can be very, very patient until I'm not. But let's get into it. So I told you that because this may be a heated topic. I stumbled up on something while I was on the cruise ship and I had to clutch my pearls. I heard the guy on the left, this is called the thumbnail, Ace Metaphor, sat down with Cam Newton and basically, and we're going to assume he's talking about black men. Don't tell me nothing about what white men do. This was a conversation between two black men. And he said, most heterosexual black men, I'm sorry, he didn't say black. He said, most heterosexual men, are y'all ready, ladies? Are y'all ready? Do not like women. I kid you not. Listen, do not like women. And I sat back and I said, damn, that's uncomfortable. But if a lot of us could learn to be quiet and just listen. Some of you try to browbeat and debo people, if y'all know what debo mean. Browbeat and debo mofos into agreeing with you. People are not here on this earth to agree with you, but you can learn a lot if you just sit back, manage your emotions. It's not that you agree, you're co-signing or you hyping them up. You can learn a lot about how people think, why they think. That'll put you up on game to save yourself a lot of time and tears. This mofo said, now I knew it in my spirit as a woman, but it's so good to hear a man say, we don't like y'all. Most of us, outside of hitting it and quitting it and having sex with you, we don't like y'all. Now, he said heterosexual, which made me pause. Because I know gay boys don't like us, meaning not personality. I know gay boys are not out here wanting to sleep with women. But sir, you said most heterosexual men don't like women. So would that make you gay? What you mean you don't like us outside of, because I know most men will put it anywhere. Do you really have this? And listen, tough conversation today. I have a lot of questions. Men don't hesitate to click the link. My question is if that is true. And he said it. So who am I as a woman to challenge a man about if you really know what we think and if you really understood how men feel about you? We don't like y'all. We don't. Now, does that mean you have an affinity and a soft or passive desire for men? And I'm gonna play it for it because he said most of us value physical strength. Physical strength. So what are you teetering along the lines of? And there's no right or wrong in this conversation. That's why, if you're not emotionally mature, I would advise you not to click that link. This is an open forum, open dialogue. We're going to spit some truth today. We're going to spit some truth today. Does that mean you prefer to be with a man physically? Because you say you value physicality, and outside of doing this with a woman in the bedroom, you don't really care for her as a species. Now, my other question is, if that's true, men, did that start with your mamas? Or did that start with your wives or your partners? Did the chicken come before the egg or did the egg come before the chicken? Help us out here. Help us out here. I'm going to go ahead and drop the link early, something I never do. I never do. So did the chicken come before the egg or does the egg come before the chicken? When a man has established a disdain, we're talking about heterosexual men because he was very specific and I'm going to play the audio. He said most heterosexual men don't like y'all. We'll sleep with you. We'll get our rocks off. We'll do that with you, but we don't like you. We don't really want you. We desire physical. And then he goes on to say some other stuff, right? But at the end of the day, most of you should be doing a praise dance in the middle of your living room. And if you're in your cubicle, excuse yourself and skip to the loo, my darling, because this man has just saved you a lot of time and just gave you the truth, whether you like it or not. Just Shanae said, I think it starts from their relationship or lack thereof with their mothers. Men, are you going to come out the bushes? Are you going to come out the bushes? See, I don't have a problem with most heterosexual men not liking women. My question is, where did it start? I like a timeline. I like a good old timeline, baby. I'm a technical person. Because here's the importance of a timeline. You come home from work, you walk in your home, and you realize your pipes have bursted. There's water. Let's just say you live in a 2-story. There's water all over the lower level floor. Just because the water is on the lower level floor doesn't mean that's where the bursting of the pipe initiated. So the first thing you do is you look up or you look down the trace to go back the timeline of impact. Is it upstairs? Is it downstairs? Is it outside? Where is the what? We're looking for the leak, right? We want to know where is the leak. And that's why I'm asking, did it start from the mama? Did it start from a girl? Did it start with your wife? I need to know where's the leak. And with that being said, welcome. You can't handle the truth.
Hi, Queen Sheba. Hi, everyone. I work in the fitness industry, and I can tell you, Queen Sheba, that men are more attracted to other men more than they're willing to admit, based on what I've observed over the years. So what Ace actually said, he's actually correct. Men really and truly don't like women all that much. They just tolerate us because we are the ones that have to bear their children and they need a substitute for their mother. But they really, really don't like us.
Let me
And
ask
thank
you
you.
this. Hold on before I let you go. We
Uh-huh.
got to give them a why. Why do you feel like, based on your industry, that men
Uh-huh.
prefer men over women in most cases, secretly?
Well, I guess they look in terms of income. They tend to want someone on the same level as they are income wise. They see women as needy. You know, they tend to think that we need them for something. We need them for nails. We need them for hair, you know, and unfortunately, there are some women who gave them that stigma to attach to us because not all of us are like that, right? And when I am in different gyms all over, because I'm what you call a surfing trainer, right? And I see it all the time. And even on football fields in my country, men can go on a football field, none of them know each other, and they just start to play, whether it's basketball or football. Women, on the other hand, you know, a woman goes somewhere and another woman wouldn't like her simply because, oh, I ain't like Sheena, I'm a blood intake her. Something about her I don't like. Men are just different. They just like each other faster than they would like another woman.
All right. That's you can't
That's
handle
just
the
how it
truth.
is.
Thank you. Thank you for coming up, Queen. We appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. She's going to drop down and I'm going to bring up the next person. Welcome to the stage, Deborah. What you got?
Hello, Queen and chat. I think it's because I think it started with their fathers. I'm going to go there. I think that some of these men have not seen women be respected or, handled with kindness and, just not, I think they've seen women be disrespected and they just don't like us. And, sometimes we can be a little more, I guess pushy maybe because we need them to do things and they may feel like we're being bossy and everything. But some women have just come from a back, history where they've had to handle things that they shouldn't have. Like they've had to play both roles, mother and father. And I think men kind of resent that because it seems like we're pushing them around or telling them what to do. But I really think it started with their dads. They didn't train them right. They did not train them in the way they should go. And that's my story. And that's what I think.
All right. Well, thank you for that truth and thank you for sharing. We appreciate you.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and play the clip. Let's review it together. I'm going to play the entire clip first. Okay. Context is key. I'm going to play the entire clip and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to go back and play the clip and pause it in real time to critique it, give my real unfiltered reaction to it. There's some aspects I may agree with the men. There's some aspects I may agree with women. There's some aspects I may windmill for the men. There's some aspects I may not windmill for the women. I don't know. But let's take a look. And here we go. But don't be getting in your feelings. Okay? Because you think I should say something that you would have said. You're you. Let them be them. Just drop it in the comment section and we'll take it from there. Is that fair? All right, here we go. Danny says they like women for sexual gratification, not as human beings. Ooh, is that a hard truth for most women? Or do most of you feel like he just hasn't been loved right? And a woman like me can change his heart, can change his mind. He just ain't had the right one. Danny makes a good point. But do most of you feel like it's just simply finding the right woman? I want to know. All right, here we go.
A lot of heterosexual men don't like women for real. They don't. They like women sexually, but they don't like women. They're not attracted to what a woman is outside of her sexual organs. So then when we get into why a lot of men womanize, or why it's just they're minimizing a woman based off of who she slept with or who she potentially can sleep for, it, because it's like you haven't gained the appreciation of the wholeness of a woman yet, and what that wholeness of a woman can bring to your life. A lot of times we'll talk about strength and we'll say men are stronger than women. But that's because we value physical strength. We're not talking about emotional strength, spiritual strength. Yeah. We're not talking about the type of strength that can run a household. And we're not putting that same type of weight. And what I would encourage, and this was the shift that I had to do, is I had to start liking the wholeness of a woman outside of sex. And then when you do that, now you appreciate the things a complete woman can bring to your life. When we talk about the Bible talks about finding a capable wife. Right? That capable wife, that person that if you was to stumble, can pick up the ball and start running. And there's a lot of men that have just a wife because they was only concerned about what she can do in the bed. Yeah. And so what I'm just encouraging men to do is just like, and it's for our own benefit, because a lot of us, especially men with some type of means, we end up finding a dependent, not a partner. Yeah, she can fuck us good. But if you was able to stumble, bro, what the fuck is gonna happen with your family? And so I just encourage men to be, I'm not gonna say more because that's unrealistic to a lot of men, but as attracted to what she brings as a feminine energy to your life outside of just what you're doing. Check this out. A lot of heterosexual men don't like women for real.
Chew on that. Chew on that. I don't have to play the rest of the video. It doesn't need any more context. How many of you actually listen to men when they talk without arguing, without trying to change his mind, and just actually receive the messages that most men put in front of you? It could be dating. It could be he could say, you know what, right now I'm going to just see what happens. We're not in a relationship shit. I ain't really looking for nothing, or whatever it is. Have you ever just listened to him and say, you know what, I accept that, without any encouragement to shift his mindset, his ideology, changing his mind and just standing in it? When he said, nah, I ain't gonna never marry you. Or you know what, I don't think I really like you like that. Or I ain't spending no money on no woman. I bet you will on me. Have you ever just accepted what a man has said without trying to get in there and say, we're different. You ain't met the right one? Because that in and of itself, man, that's powerful. Number one. Number two, I don't believe that he's not talking to himself. I believe he's definitely talking about himself. Experience is the best teacher. That's what the old folks say. Experience is the best teacher. I think he is preaching to the choir. I think he's telling exactly how he feels about women. And most men like him feel about women, these big personalities with a lot of money. We really don't like y'all. Some people believe most men will sleep with anything. So if most men would sleep with anything, including a woman, listen, I said that in reverse order. I said that in reverse order to F you up, to really get you here to think, believe, accept, and just chew on that for a minute. There's no right. There's no wrong. The truth is the truth when people speak it. Do you respect people's truth? Do you respect this truth that's coming from a man that says most of us, outside of hitting you up every now and then, fulfilling our sexual pleasure with you? Because if most men, heterosexual, according to him, don't really like women, it ain't never about you. It ain't never about pleasing you in the bedroom. You are a means to an end. Now, because most people say, child, a man will put his anywhere. If that's true, including with the woman, if a man will sleep with anything, including a woman, how much investment has he truly made in you? Or have you been living a lie? Or do you make excuses to stay? Now let's continue. I want to read some of these comments, which I believe are coming from men. Ricky Smith says, I agree. Corey Ellis says, I think so too. The Desired Orchid says, is there socialization? Most men have never seen their mothers. Well, let's hear it out. I'm going to save your comment. I'm going to come back to it. Let's hear his why. I don't disagree. I don't agree. I love conversations that's going to shake the table. Let's see. Okay, black man is fiercest, but women don't have ranks for men. Like you said, it's these types of men, the lames, corny simps, etc. Men don't talk or act like okay, are you saying most men don't talk or act like him? We're gonna come back to this. We're gonna come back to this. Let's do this. Let's continue.
They don't. They like women sexually, but they don't like women. They're not attracted to what a woman is outside of her sexual organs.
How does that make a woman any different from a man, a dog, a cat, a blow up doll? Men. If what he's saying is true outside of your organs, and with your organs, the warmth that it brings to my organ, how does that make a woman different if he says we don't like you as a species? The only thing we're interested is outside of your organs and the pleasure we feel. This is an adult conversation that y'all going on. If you sensitive, y'all going on. This ain't the right channel for you. Outside of what you can provide between your legs, ain't nobody checking for you as a species. Don't nobody give a damn about protecting you as a black woman. Don't nobody give a damn about how you was raised in the church. Don't nobody give a damn about your warmth, your femininity, how good you can cook and clean, how blessed you are. Don't nobody give a damn. Most of us. That's what he's saying. That's all hey, don't shoot the messenger. It's just the message. Now, Tammy says, I actually fear rich men because they use their money as power. He's saying most men, heterosexual. He did not differentiate between rich, poor. So, Tammy, I understand what you're saying. And that's why I ask women, do you really accept the truth when a man says it? Because he didn't put a label on it. He said most heterosexual men. He didn't put a value. He didn't put a weight. He didn't put an education. He didn't put whether they're in the NFL or they work at Amazon. He said most heterosexual men don't like y'all. So women, can we sit here and accept the truth without telling ourselves a story or going and say, well, most rich men? Because you can get run up and done up by a Pookie and a Ray Ray. That's all I'm saying. Let's continue. And Tammy, you're not wrong. I just wanted to bring that to attention, how women tend to soften, or how we can tend to soften to make it fit our reality. Let's continue. Your Royal Highness says, Queen, I think we need to poll some men. Well, here's the thing about polling men. If they told you the real truth, most of you would get upset with them. We had a man come up here a few weeks ago on a Saturday, and he says, I do not take women out at all. I need to try you sexually first. And the women, y'all were so upset. As opposed to listening to him and seeing how the game go. And I said, oh yeah. And y'all said, oh, he has mother issues. He needs to see a therapist. I said, I don't think so. He just said, I need to sleep with you first to see if I even like you. If you're worth my money, I need to see how we act after that. I need to lay your head on a pillow. So could y'all really handle the truth if men came out the bushes and tell you today what it is versus what it ain't? Will we be okay with that? I think I asked Shuka, I feel like I messed up your comment. Somebody just said that their ex-husband did not like them or their husband, and I may have deleted it by accident, and I want to apologize. I can't find it. Here we go. Let's continue the conversation.
So then when we get into why a lot of men womanize, or why it's just they're minimizing a woman based off of who she slept with or who she potentially can sleep for, because it's like you haven't gained the appreciation of the wholeness of a woman yet, and what that wholeness of a woman can bring to your life. A lot of times we'll talk about strength and we'll say men are stronger than women, but that's because we value physical strength.
Okay, I can agree with that. I follow. Are y'all following? Let's continue.
We're not talking about emotional strength, spiritual strength. Yeah. We're not talking about the type of strength that can run a household. And we're not putting that same type of weight. And what I would encourage, and this was the shift that I had to do, is I had to start liking the wholeness of a woman outside of sex. And then when you do that.
Now, I'm gonna have to pull you to the carpet. Ace metaphor. Y'all know I gotta warm you up before I gotta set it up to knock it down. I'm gonna have to pull you to the carpet because you had that and you tried to beat the femininity out of her. Let's call a spade a spade. Let's call a spade a spade. You had a woman. Unfortunately, we came to find out about your history based on your breakup with tonight's conversation uh, through Keita Rose. See, you had a disgruntled employee. Now, I do not agree with Keita Rose and how she told those people's business. Keep the main thing the main thing. If it's about finances, you keep it finances. But what you don't do is out another woman's domestic violence. But because of Keita Rose coming up and saying, and not only is he a bad guy and he didn't pay me and he owes me thousands, he also beat real bad his ex-wife. I don't like people that learn that hard. So even though you're declaring that you had to learn to appreciate all of the essence that a woman encompasses, you tried to beat it out of her before you learned that. You beat her because you didn't like women and what they represented. Now, that would have been powerful when we talk about self-hate and the road that you had to take in order to be healed. Was it therapy? Was it prayer? Was it a group of men that got you together? Was it a group of women? How did you come to get where you are today from where you came from as it relates to women? Because some men do beat women, not all, because they don't like them. So I had to pull his coattail and bring him to the carpet. Oh yeah, you did a job on that one and you were arrested for it. Okay, that's a fact. So this goes a little bit deeper, ladies. And that's why I ask you, what would be your reaction if a man sat down and actually told you the truth about how he feels about you? Because women, you do possess a responsibility and a level of accountability to get your ass up and go. Once a man says you too much for me, you too good for me, stop trying to love him through shit. Not because he's good, you're good and he's bad. That is not your job. The man told you I had to learn. I've made a lot of mistakes and now I'm there. How hard are you willing to allow somebody to learn on your time, to learn on your heart, to learn on your body? See, a lot of this, I think there's a 50-50 responsibility that lies in this. That lies in this saga, but we're going to continue.
That now you appreciate the things a complete woman can bring to your life. When we talk about the Bible talks about finding a capable wife.
Let's pause there. He says, so now you appreciate what a complete woman can bring to your life. Newsflash, men. Newsflash, an incomplete man does not deserve a whole woman. You get exactly what you deserve out of this life. An incomplete man should not be expecting a complete woman because you're incomplete. And my granny used to always say, water seeks its own level. That's all.
Right? That capable wife, that person that if you was to stumble, can pick up the ball and start running.
Mm-hmm. That is not a woman's place. Now you're getting into, that's why I said men like, did you hear what he said? And he used an example of football. That if you stumble, she can pick up the ball and start running. Nigga, do you want a man or do you want a woman? Do you want a man or do you want a woman? Y'all better start listening, people. A woman who's capable. See, a woman shouldn't have to pick up a ball and start running. We don't play. We typically, but see, that's the example he's seeing in his head, that a woman can step in and perform at a level. Just in case I lose my job, she can step in and take over. Never, 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 ever. Not to that level, not to that capacity, because you just quoted the Bible. You just quoted the Bible, sir. And the Bible says that a man was put here to till the earth, to till the earth. That's physical labor. You just quoted the Bible about the softness, the uniqueness of a woman, but then should you stumble and fall, she can pick up the ball and perform in a masculine way. Do you want a man or do you want a woman? Do most men, heterosexual men, is the reason you don't like women is because you really want a man. And if that is the truth, and I know most of you will never say it openly, but I'm just going to ask you, for those of you that are sitting home, if you really want one, what's stopping you from going that route? It's legal to marry a man. It's perfectly legal to be with one. What puts you in turmoil? Because I ain't picking up the ball and running for nobody. If a woman wants to pick up the ball and run, she can stay single. What's the point of having a man that can't provide, that can't run the ball and score a touchdown for this family? Why I need to put on the fucking cleats and the shoulder pads and the mouth guard and the face shield and the helmet to go run just in case? I'm just asking. Let me drop the link. It's more than transactional. It's a swapping of roles, Tammy. It's a swapping of roles. It's unrealistic expectations. So now you want to see, y'all say y'all want this and that, but at the end of the day, he's saying we really don't like y'all. And if that's true, then listen, it's a swapping of roles. It's a spiritual exchange. It's unrealistic expectations. And in one sentence, you want this docile, feminine, complete woman, but just in case your physical capabilities fail you, your intellect fails you in corporate America, you're not able to provide. You need her to go out there and till the earth, to till the ground, become masculine while I sit at home and figure out what's going on. No, that's not her job, to pick up the ball and run. But let's continue.
And there's a lot of men that have just a wife because they was only concerned about what she can do in the bed.
Yeah.
And so what I'm just encouraging men to do is just like, and it's for our own benefit, because a lot of us, especially men with some type of means, we end up finding a dependent, not a partner.
No, I'm gonna call bullshit. You purposely find a beautiful woman that you have on your roster that you deem physically and aesthetically pleasing, not only to you in the bedroom, but to other men that ooh and ah over her. Most times, not all, these type of women don't possess the intellect to be able to go out and earn. So they do, and they lean on what brings them value in the dating pool, which are their bodies, their hair texture, their skin tone, and they rely on that. And then after you're done and you've had enough candy and your teeth starts to rot, right? Because too much of anything ain't good for you. And she's played out. Now you're saying she's a dependent. You picked that dependent. Now she's the enemy. She's not equal. She's not that. Man, she can't even go out and earn that. You knew that shit when you picked her. You wanted beauty. Well, guess what? Beauty is her name. Beauty don't have to work. Pretty is a privilege. Either you're going to take care of her or you're not. But you cannot have it on both sides and change the rules in the middle of the game and expect her to perform when she's not a performer. Let's continue. And I'm not mad. I'm just saying, don't fall for the okie doke. Because if you're not sharp as a woman, you could easily get circles ran around you in this game.
Partner, yeah, she can fuck us good. But if you was able to stumble, bro, what the fuck is going to happen with your family? And so
You don't think about that shit until later. Most men. You're not picking. Most, not all y'all, not all men. Most men at this caliber are not picking women that are degreed up. The only one I can probably say was Ludacris. And even then, she quit medical school. So if that's really what you want, how come you completely interrupt your cycle of in their career path? How come he didn't say finish medical school? Because God forbid, if I can't work and I can't provide, you may have to go back to work. You know why? Because he ain't thinking like that. Now, that's the heart of a real man. He ain't thinking like that. The men that truly enjoy women. She ain't never got to go back and do that. I'm not thinking about, shit, she's a dependent. I love her. She doesn't have to go to work. She doesn't have to finish school. I'm the provider. I'm the leader. I don't need no backup. I got insurance. I got this. I got that. And if I fail, my family's going to always be straight. I'm just saying there's a difference. There's different kind of men. But I also have to give the men credit that are leaning in, the ones that do like their women.
So I just encourage men to be, I'm not going to say more because that's unrealistic to a lot of men, but
okay. How come you wouldn't encourage a man to be more? You said that's real unrealistic. How come you hesitated to challenge another man? Are you scared of the pushback? Are you scared that they're going to start pulling skeletons out of your closet? My question is, how many times do men actually sit back and hold each other accountable and say, you got to do better? Man, you effed up. That's crazy. You don't even take care of your children. Or you're married and you talk to your wife like shit. Bro, you always angry. Your family seems scared. How many times do men actually sit down and hold their friends and other men accountable? That's just a question.
as attracted to what she brings as a feminine energy to your life outside of just what you're doing in between.
Check this out.
A lot of heterosexual men.
Now, that was that conversation, right? And I find it ironic that these two men are having this conversation. And I found it also interesting, and I appreciate the truth. I do. Maybe a hard truth for some. Okay, the sheriff of YouTube says that ain't the job of another man's friend. Then what's a job? What is the okay? When we think about the caliber of NFL players that reach back and have a bunch of niggas around them that they're taking care of, these entertainers, these rappers that have these big ass entourage that expect a little bit of a piece of your pie. What is the job of another man's friend? If you could enlighten us. I like to know the why you guys say what you say. When a man is looking at his friend, how do you see him? What is his role to you? How do you perform in your friend's life? That's just it's a question. It's just a question. Glam Rock says 2 broken men having a discussion about women that they don't like. Women they don't like. See, it's easy. Women that they don't like. Sheriff says to support your friend while he supports his own wife. He don't want you talking. Listen, so men will allow if you're supporting your friend, where does that support stop? Because to me, that's not a friend. How can you support your friend as a man and neglect him to be better for his children and his wife? So is what he's saying true? That most of y'all don't like us to the point that you ain't gonna even step in and try to give him wisdom and the knowledge that the Bible talks about? Do y'all really dislike women to that point? You ain't gonna even say nothing. That ain't my job. I don't give a damn what he do to her. He my friend. She ain't my friend. Is that how it goes? Is that the dynamics? If you meddle in another man's relationship, you will be put out. That's not what I'm saying. If your friend is off kilter, you mean to tell me you're going to sit there and let him jump off the cliff? It's not meddling. It's saying, hey, you got to do better. I ain't going to tell you how to, y'all don't have those kind of conversations with each other. You don't have to be a woman to say that. Because when you raise your son, you do, right? Do you have sons? Do you not talk to your boys like that as they're boys channeling and growing into men? Now, all of a sudden, the lessons that we can handle down to boys, we can hand down to boys, we can no longer say because of a chronological age, and we don't want to get put out the pack. Hell, even in animal kingdom, male lions correct. Male lions even correct the younger lads. Sheriff on women meddle with other women's. No, they don't. Well, they do. Yes, they do. They meddle. I'm not talking about meddling. I'm talking about when you see they do meddle. Some do meddle. I stand corrected. But there are some, I'm just asking, not meddling. Let's not put a negative tone on it. If your friend is headed down the wrong road with his family, are you going to let him jump off that cliff? That's all I'm asking. And basically what you're saying is, yeah, because it's considered a woman-like trait to get in and support your friend in that type of way. Got it. Well, I want to show you another clip. Give me 1 second. Not this one. Yeah. Hold on one. This one.
The best among you is he who is kindest to his wife and his mother. Those were the standards.
Look at Cam's eyes, y'all. Look at Cam. Look at Cam Newton's face. Getting eaten alive by these messages that are hitting him back to back, right? This revelation that is finding him. Let's continue.
Standards. Why those two? Because mother is the one that brought you into the world and has you where you are. And wife is the one that's going to take you into the future, even when you're gone. So these two, my wife and mother, are the two that you should be judged by to see whether or not that you should be worthy of respect. And I found out accidentally on purpose. that you can measure the goodness and the greatness of a man by the size of the smile of the woman in his life's face. If the woman that he's
Look at Cam. Listen, from a man of faith, Nuri Muhammad says, listen, you want to judge a man? Look at his relationship with his mother and his wife. Notice he didn't say baby mama, his girlfriend, his polygamous relationship. Look at his relationship. You'll know right away. You can tell them by the fruit that they bear. Look at his relationship, number one, with his mother and with his wife. And then go a little bit further if he's married. What's her facial expression? What does her spirit do? How does she carry herself? Is she happy? Is she depressed? Anxiety ridden, driven, stressed all the time, mad, angry? He said that's how we men judge other men.
he's with is not happy, that's a sign that that's not a good man. If he's a good man, her smile is always going to be big on her face, because when a man is in love with a woman, her needs and wants become his goals.
Fellas, women, do you agree? Do you disagree? He said when a man is in love, he's not saying when you ducking and sucking and ducking. He said when a man is truly in love with a woman, you can tell by her spirit. She has a lightness to her. There's something about her smile. And even though he said physical smile, look at the glow in her eyes. It's just something. He's loving her well. And a lot of men tend to attribute love to dicking somebody down. That's not what we're talking about. He's saying because her needs and wants become his goals on a spiritual level. Let's continue.
Anything that she wants, she's always thinking. The minister said like this: love anticipates need.
Love anticipate needs. I'm sorry about that. Please forgive me. My microphone fell over. I may anticipate you hungry. I may anticipate after 7 days, you probably tired of cooking and cleaning. I may anticipate it's time for a date. I'm going to anticipate that you probably are not feeling yourself. I'm going to get the kids taken care of this morning. I'm going to love anticipates needs. And then it's not just his job. Let me get in here and windmill for the men a little bit. It works both ways. I'm going to anticipate my man is stressed out. I can see the look in his eye, even though he's not saying a word. I'm going to anticipate work is kicking his ass today. I'm going to anticipate he needs a little bit of quiet time. You know what? Y'all go sit over there. Leave your dad alone. I'm going to anticipate. And that works. Love anticipate needs. He did not assign it to a gender, the wife or the husband, but he says love when there's love in the room. Samantha Elvey says, Queen, you are cooking today. That's why these men don't really like Russell Wilson. Kia M said, whoreship is what he's talking about. Men who only see women for sex are used to interacting with women selfishly. And may I be so bold to say these type of men are Johns and emotionally void. You may have a point. Kia the Diva says your microphone felt that. Listen, let's go back to it. What is this? Okay. Thank you, Twitter. Okay. Y'all, I done put something up on the screen. Okay, there we go. I got it down. Here we go.
So when you really love somebody, you in love with somebody as a man, you're listening to what she likes. What does she want? And you're always trying to be there to manifest it. So if you have a woman, you see a man and woman, a couple together, and she's never happy, that's a bad testimony on part of that man. If he's a good man or a great man, she gonna have a good smile.
And for I look, I'm gonna anticipate the clap back. I'm about to get, some people are gonna say, no, that's not true. You run up on a lot of women that don't appreciate you as a man. You run up on a lot of women that'll try to use you. Let me tell you something. A good man has a very good discerning spirit. A good man, a solid man. He's a discerner. He's going to pick very, very carefully the woman that he chooses to bear his legacy the day he takes his last breath on this earth. I knew what he was saying. A woman that's going to represent you even when you're not here. He's talking about your bloodline, your children, your lineage, how people are going to speak well of you and your children. So a good man is a very disciplined man in a lot of ways. I'm not saying y'all don't have sex. That's not what I'm saying. But when it comes to unprotected sex and just sharing your body like that and your seed, nobody gets that. Nobody gets to just have your child because she has a vagina. A good man is going to study the playbook. He's going to study the field. He's going to look at the chessboard. He's going to say, she cool, but she not my wife. And he's going to pick one that he can enjoy all the days of his life. That's all I'm saying. Anything above that, where you make excuses, you failed yourself as a man. You got caught up in the okie doke. You lacked discipline. And as a result, surprise, surprise, this is what you get.
I see you looking at.
Yeah, look at Cam.
At your queen smile right now in your head. Is she smiling, bro, Cam? The best.
Oh, she not smiling. He know he wrong for how he was treating that girl. Listen, somebody just tried to come up. Let me drop the link again. And then we're going to go to the next slide. And we're going to wrap it up if y'all don't have anything to say. I've just felt like it was a very interesting conversation. And I wanted to take a jab at it. So then this is an extension of the conversation.
If he's not willing to get down on one knee for you, don't you open up two knees for him.
Ladies, that's for you. This is where he holds the women accountable. This is where he holds the women accountable. And I don't want, and in this Muslim faith, I know exactly what he means, but I know a lot of you make excuses because the world is a very busy place. Everybody's outside. Everybody's tooting it up in the air. Everybody's taking off their clothes. Everybody's taking shot, edibles, smoking weed, coking it up, doping it up, doing whatever you want. So there's a lot of excuses when you're not ready to live right? And we're not talking about perfection, but he's saying if you really, ladies, if you really want a good one, there should be some requirements before you just get in bed like that and allow all these different men to exploit your body like that. What are you doing? You bear a responsibility in this too. Let's continue.
So you should show commitment before you get access to this mother of civilization and this queen. And that if women would say no, I guarantee you there'll be a whole lot more holy matrimony. And
especially in the Black community, I think we're at 67% of Black households are headed by single women. There's children in the home, there's a woman in the home, but there's no men. How do we get to the point? And I know, men, they should. How do we get to the point where we will freely give birth over and over and over? Have these children for a man that is not committed to you. One of the most precious things you can do and give to a man is your body first, not even a child. Your body first. You are a receiver as a woman. And if nobody's told you, that's probably one of your most precious gifts. Men will kill for it. Okay? Men will work for it. Shit, men will climb gates, put on their best clothes, go broke for it, pay for it. How do we get to a point where you say, just take it, shit? Here it is. No requirements. No application to fill out. You ain't got to say nothing. I'm down for whatever. And then expect him a year later to be consistent with you. Telling yourself you don't understand why he didn't pick you. Showing up at other women's houses to fight. Pulling up on dates. He's cheating on me. No, ma'am. He ain't married to you. That's on you. If you did all that with no commitment. I'm not excusing his behavior, but there's two sides of the coin. So now we're talking about the accountability and the responsibility of the woman. We talked about the men. Now we talking. Now you finna fight her? You finna call her all kind of names because you didn't keep yours on lock? He ain't never took me nowhere. That's on you. He's spending my money. That's on you. You didn't require that for him to access your votes. You didn't require none of that. He came right on in. You moved him in, girl. You was cooking and cleaning. You did everything. She didn't. Men are hunters. They will hunt you down when they really want you. And in the animal kingdom, I love talking about the animal kingdom. When we think about a pride of lions, the male lion, you know why he eats first, even though he's not the hunter? A lot of people don't know this. It's actually the oldest female that's considered the alpha that leads the charge with hunting. Hunting is the most dangerous activity in a pride of lions, because if the alpha female goes down or if she's injured, they may not have food for weeks or days. But even though the females hunt by strategy, they work together, right? The male eats first because it's his job to protect his pride. And with male lions, they will fight to the death. It ain't no, okay, you go your way, I go mine. You bit me, I bit. They will fight to the death. That's how it works in animal kingdom. You know why he's fighting? To protect his lineage, because if another lion beats him, he's going to kill off all of the male cubs. The weak are not allowed to reproduce in nature. That's why male lions fight to the death. I said that to say and use that as symbolic. Men do hunt. The right man will kill for his family. He will protect his family. He will lay his life down on a line. Let somebody try to come in that house, and he's going to tell you, you go hide. Don't worry about me. Take care of the kids, just like a male lion. But the problem is, a lot of you say, how come I didn't get that? How come he did this to me? You didn't require anything up front. You gave it away for free. There is nothing to hunt. There's nothing to protect because he does not value it. Welcome, Terrence. What you got, King?
Yeah, the title is Men Don't Like Women.
That's what they said. You missed it, that clip? He said,
Yeah, I missed it. I just got on.
Okay, let me run it back for you. But go ahead and say what you need to say. We're going to finish this and I'll run it back.
Oh, if that was true, where did all these babies and kids come from?
He said outside of sex. Most heterosexual men. Yeah, he said out. Yeah, he said we don't like
that? Who said that?
I'm going to play it for you. Let's finish this. Go on mute and then I'm going to run it back, okay?
Okay.
Hang out with me for a couple of seconds.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Terrence is going to mute up and then I'm going to allow him to have a chance to react. Let me finish this real quick, y'all.
Covenant connections and sacred unions going on. Sisters, I promise you, if you really knew your value, you would stop giving men discounts. If you really knew your value, you come off that clearance rack and get back behind the glass where the real valuable stuff is at. You know, when you go to a store, the clearance rack got stuff. You got a large hanger with a medium shirt and pants don't fit this outfit and stepped on stuff a few times. But whenever you behind the glass, we was getting my wife's ring serviced, and there was a sign on there that said, we are only allowed to show you one of these in this glass at a time. And I asked him, I said, why is that? He said, because of how valuable they are, we don't want to take the risk of being distracted and somebody being able to have 2 or 3 and they take one and we don't realize that it happened. That's the same way that our women have to be. Just like the valuable ring or bracelet could only be looked at one item at a time, you should have in your mind as a woman that, look, if I'm the only one you looking at and considering right now. And if I'm not, then you know, I'm gonna have to move on.
And a lot of us don't move on, ladies. But let me go back and run this clip for Terrence. And I'm not gonna play the whole thing, Terrence. I'm just let you hear what he got to say. Here we go.
A lot of heterosexual men don't like women for real. They don't. They like women sexually, but they don't like women. They're not attracted to what a woman is outside of her sexual organs.
Terrence?
Yeah, now that I see the context, yes, that's very true, because there's a war what's World War III? World War III is between black males and black females, and black males and black females are at war with each other. So that's a very true statement.
Let's pause, because he said a lot of heterosexual men outside of having sex with you, we don't like you. My question is, the $1 million question is, what came first, the chicken or the egg? When a man, and if this is true, and there's no right or wrong, because I
Hmm.
appreciate a good conversation and a good truth, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people can't handle the truth.
Right.
If that's true, where did the boy or the man establish the dislike? Was it with his mama first, or did it come from somewhere else?
Well,
For real.
it comes from it comes from the society, and racism is systemic. We weren't when we were brought over here on slave ships. We weren't brought over here to get married. We we didn't come over here on the Nina, the Pinta, the Santa Maria, or the Gayflower. I mean the Mayflower.
Mhm.
And our trip over here has not turned into the Love Boat.
But
We
we
were
came from our lineage. If we go back to our African lineage, we came from villages. We were married.
right.
So that right.
I lived in 6 or 7 African countries. I know exactly where we came from. But
But
when you're full of self-hatred,
okay.
that when you're full of the self-hatred
Mm.
that racism teaches, all you have to do is read Willie Lynch. We've been divided and conquered and divided. And Willie Lynch taught white people, hey, take their differences and divide them against one, and divide blacks against each other. Um, and he said, we reverse their nature, and our females today have been turned into dudes, and our guys have been turned feminine. And this has fostered and festered this war that's between us. You know, black females' favorite saying is, they strong and independent, don't need no man. I'm strong, independent black woman, I don't need no man. That's a statement of war.
Well,
Because
okay, so in this clip, Ace he's not even blaming it on women. I didn't play the rest. He just said we don't like
he
y'all.
he doesn't know he's not a scientist like I am. He doesn't know where it comes from.
But hold on. But he has his own experience. Let me ask you this
Right.
though, and I'm not
Mhm.
agreeing or disagreeing with you.
Right.
If
Right.
we could just keep it to layman's terms,
Yes, ma'am.
and let's not even shift it to black women. If you were just in a room full of men and
Hmm.
y'all were trying to figure out why most black men have this established self-hate, what does it really boil down to?
It co- I just told you it comes from Willie Lynch. See, so I'm I'm a life coach and a therapist. All self-hatred comes from self-ignorance. Hosea 4:6 say black people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. When you don't know yourself, you automatically hate yourself, because what you're going to do is you're going to look at the media, and the media means mind control, and the media is controlled by the devil, not God. And so the media is going to teach the females to wear their booty shorts and get you some sex. Sex is the gold, diamonds, and money of the society. Sex is the biggest and best thing you can get,
Hold on. How is the media teaching that when black men are spewing it from rap? You see how music has changed?
because you answered your own question. The rap comes from the media. That's how you get rap, is through the media.
Hmm.
And uh, the word media comes from the Latin word media, which gives you the English word a median. A median is what? Between two roads.
It's half and half. Yeah,
A, a,
medium.
a medium shirt is what? Between a small and a large. The word media means between. The word media actually means getting between a person and God.
I got you. Hold that thought, because you got some
Mhm.
people that are agreeing with you and not agreeing with. Go on mute. Let me go to the next person, and I'm gonna see a different man's point of view. Hold that thought. Hold that thought, Terrence. Sexy Ariane, welcome to the conversation. Black Man is Fair. You're up next. Sexy Ariane, what are your thoughts? In 5, 4, 3, 2, and let's go to Black Man is Fair. Come off mute. What are your thoughts? Black Man is Fair. Welcome.
Hey, welcome. Thank you. As far as me personally, I love women. So, those guys up there that are, representing not doing what a man needs to do, not meeting the requirements of a man and all of that, they don't represent me. You know what I mean? So that's the first thing I want to say.
Okay.
Next, as far as what the brother is talking about, you know what I mean? And as far as a war between us, I never felt, from a boy to a man, I never felt in a war with a woman, with a female. There is no war between men and women because there is no belief that woman could beat men in any type of war. So we ain't going to war. We don't feel at war with you.
Ooh.
Brother,
Hold on, let him finish. Let him finish. Go ahead.
He finished. He made his point.
No, we always pause. We don't. Go ahead. Let him finish. Are you done? Black Man is Fair.
Yeah, I mean, that's my major point. So when it comes to man, like I always say, men will deal with men. Like, deal with me before we start talking about how we all think about, you know what I'm saying, the world and stuff like that. Like, I feel like men can get together and work out something between us before we start presenting to the world, because every man is not the same. Every man don't think the same. Every man is not representing manhood. So I just ended there.
If there was no war, between 1973 and now, Black females have had 50 to 100 million baby deletions, called the A word. Those are casualties of war. We have a 90% single mom divorce rate.
87%, I think.
Same thing. That's an act of war. 80% of those divorces are initiated by females. That's an act of war. The number one cause of death for Black males and females between the ages of 26 and 41 is what? It's not heart attacks. It's not cancer. It's each other. Black males and Black females are deleting each other. I think that's an act of war. So I don't know what.
That's an act of suicide.
Wait. Pause.
Murder's not suicide.
Hold on. I have a question for Black Man is Fair before we get deep. Right? Before we get deep, everybody just pause for a second. Black Man is Fair. I want to be fair and ask you the same question that I asked Terrence. From what you heard from Ace Metaphor and Cam Newton and all of that. Hold on. Everybody got to wait. I see y'all telling me to drop the link, but let me finish with this round. My question to you, Black Man is Fair, so that I'm fair. What came first, the chicken or the egg? When you hear men say, that's true, for whatever reason, there is some truth that heterosexual Black men, we don't like y'all outside of sex. Did the chicken come before the egg? Did this disdain and hate start with Black men not liking their mamas? When did they pick up?
I think it's a lot of sick individuals on the mic. You know what I'm saying? And these dudes is speaking to women. They not speaking to men or really trying to have another conversation with other men, because then it would be about doing the job, getting the job done. You know what I'm saying? Not leaving the job. You know what I'm saying? So that's how men talk about what we got to do and how we got to get done. Not, I'm leaving, I ain't going to be there. I'm out, or I got something else to do. That's not how men get down. So first of all, they talking to women, you know what I'm saying? And because y'all going to do the healing and y'all going to, you know what I'm saying? So that's for women's conversation as far as I'm concerned.
Okay. And then Sexy RN, let me let you get in here real quick. What are your thoughts? I know you were having mic challenges. Sexy RN.
I'm sorry. Hey, hello everyone. Good morning, good afternoon. Actually, this conversation is getting really deep. They're both correct. It did start on a systemic level. It started there. Unfortunately, we cannot end it there because we don't control the system. We have to deal with ourselves as individuals. And to answer your question, it started with parents, mothers and fathers. A lot of mothers, I think, even create resentment in their sons when they teach them to be loyal to them instead of teaching them to be good to people in general. It's like, be loyal to the mom. I do feel like a lot of men actually literally have resentment toward their mothers for that, and they take it out on other women. Or if you have
Okay.
a father who's not being a good to his mother, that can also teach a young man how to treat a woman. So it starts with us. We cannot change the system. We can't change slavery. We can't
Right.
change what happened. We can't
Oh,
do anything about that. We got to start with the bottom level
All
and let
right.
the
we
system do what it's going to do.
For the
we can't.
panelists, hold on, hold on. I need y'all to avoid buzzwords because I just got something that came in. Okay, please avoid. You gotta avoid. You can't. Don't use the word war. Avoid buzzwords
What
because I just tried to post
war
something
is
and
it?
got a warning. So for those of you
Oh,
on, yeah, on the panel, you gotta avoid that. Okay,
I
because
didn't.
YouTube.
Okay, I didn't know that was a
That's
buzzword.
okay. That's all right. I know. That's
Okay,
why I'm
I'm
just making
sorry.
sure we stay on the up and up.
Uh-huh.
Go ahead, Terrence.
But we can change, sister. We can change any reality that we want to change. The problem is black folks don't want to change. We enjoy foolishness and we enjoy this craziness because if we changed, my uncle said it best. We would to change means we'd have to get up off our ass and start building, and we're too lazy minded to do that. And the sister makes a great point that it starts in the home, but you have to trace it back a little further. Who built the home? The society establishes the rules and laws and beliefs and opinions that govern the house, and everything is grown in a particular environment.
Hmm. I'm gonna have to read that.
Everything comes out of an environment. Now this wench Ricky Mo is getting personal with me.
Who? No, hold on. No, we
Rick,
don't do that over
Rico,
here.
Rick,
No,
Ricky
no,
Mo.
no. Hold on, hold on. We don't call names. Now y'all
Well,
can go to
she's calling me a name.
let me look. Everybody pause. Let me take a look. Don't give it back. Now we just sat here and
Oh,
talked about.
I get to
Hold on, wait
defend
a minute.
myself.
No, listen, you gotta follow my lead. I get called worse, but I don't never fire back. We put them in timeout over here. Come on
Okay,
now. Stay
yeah,
up.
get
Stay up.
Rico. I stay up. You don't have to
No, but
tell
you
me.
called her a wench.
But she called me
It
a
don't
name
matter. You
first.
the man. I want you to stay up.
I got the right to defend myself. That's
No,
the
you
number
don't. It
one.
ain't that.
Yes, I
Listen.
do. Yes, I.
Hold on, Terrence. We don't engage like that. Give us a chance to see what's
Yeah.
going on. Now you didn't call
Okay.
somebody a wench, and I don't know what's going on. I ain't seen what she called you. Let me see. But
Yes,
don't
ma'am.
do that.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, don't do that. You better
Okay,
than that.
I'll point it out to you.
You okay,
We
I'm gonna
got
look
some
for
good
it.
moderators
I'm
over here,
asking.
really.
Hold on. I have moderators that can do that. But see,
She's
when you come down like that, everything you just said goes out the window. Because
No,
I
it
was
doesn't.
to
No, it
me
doesn't.
it does. Wait, let me finish. To me it does.
Well, don't
To
let
me,
it.
it does.
Don't let it.
I'm just giving you some feedback. Now I
Okay.
was following you and I was
I like your feedback. Now
let me finish
let me
though. Let me
respond.
hold
Okay.
on.
Yes,
No, let
ma'am.
me finish and then you
Yes,
can
ma'am.
respond.
Yes, ma'am.
Now I was following you whether I agreed or not, but I thought it
Hmm.
was worth the listen. I respect people that can get down on it from a different state of mind. There's certain things that I expect from people in the chat. But when I open up my panel, I automatically expect that you on my level. Okay. I ain't never, ever had anybody on my panel call somebody a name in the chat because most of them are right there with me. I consider my equal or they're higher or whatever. You know, they're pretty sharp. They're pretty ready. They understand. They're built for this. That's what I expect from you. I don't give a damn what she called you. We'll handle that side. But if you're going to come up, you got to carry yourself accordingly over here. We got it. You can't go
Okay.
down there.
Can I respond?
I'm just telling you how I play over here.
I got it the first three times. May I respond?
Let me get a chance to see what's going on in my chat.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Rico, are you here? Two, did you see anything?
It's
Mod,
on it's on the
th-
screen right now.
she said you lazy minded.
Right.
What's wrong with that? You said most black people are
Everything.
lazy. No, it's
Everything.
not because you put it out there. Now you can't. Now you hear it. You did a very vague. There's no right or
No, I
wrong.
didn't do any vague. I don't do anything vague.
You said you said black people are lazy. They don't want to do the work. My uncle said you got to get off your
Right.
ass and do the work. We are
Right.
lazy minded. And then she said, you're lazy
We're
minded, not us.
lazy. We're lazy when it comes to building
That's
a
fine.
world,
She didn't. I thought she called you.
to
Hold on. I
ourselves.
thought she called you a name. You called her a
She
wimp.
did. She called me lazy minded.
Boy,
That's a
you called her-
dirty
I'm not gonna-
name.
No, it's not. Now,
Yes,
come
it
on.
is.
No, it's not. You
Yes,
put
it
it
is.
out there. She responded. It's not a name calling situation.
And I responded to her
Why'd you put it out there? If you feel like
because
lazy,
it's the truth.
well, then that's her truth.
No, there's no such thing as his and her truth. Truth is truth. Nobody owns the truth except God.
Okay, you shared your truth about
No, I share the truth. I don't have a
whatever
truth.
it is.
Nobody
We're not
has
gonna
a
go back
truth.
and forth. We're not gonna do all that. Okay, you shared your truth, which is
No,
the
I
truth.
share the truth. I don't have
Whatever, your
any
truth,
truth. It's
we're
not
not gonna
whatever.
listen. We don't get caught up like that. We don't do this. We listen. I
Okay,
go, you talk. My people are allowed to talk. You're allowed to talk. But
I understand.
what we don't do is police. Because I didn't police you, and you're not gonna police her. We're not gonna allow her to call you
I
out your
didn't try to
name.
police her.
You did.
No, I
You
didn't.
did. I put that on the screen because I didn't find it offensive. Let me finish though. You're not gonna police her. She's not
I'm
gonna
not
police
trying
you.
to police her.
Let me finish. This is how I'm perceiving it. And my perception overrides everybody. She's not gonna police you. You're not gonna police her. And you damn sure not gonna call her a wench. That to me, that's uncalled for. Even if you felt lazy, if you feel lazy is something that we should not be using, then maybe you shouldn't use it because you use it. That's all I'm saying. It's not that serious. That's all. Black man is fair. Sexy RN. Did y'all want to hold on? Shay says that's not being called a name. Now, had she called him a man child, then maybe he could be in his feelings. Hey, Shay, thank you for pulling up. Sexy RN, black man is fair. Would you like to get in?
Yes, I wanted to say, I don't think it's so much that people are lazy minded. People get comfortable. That is human nature, not black nature, not white nature. People get comfortable. Think about people who grow up in an abusive situation. They grew up in it. They stay in it because it's comfortable for them. It's their norm. So when things become our norm, it's hard for anybody in society to break free. That's why
That's true.
sometimes change only comes through the word we're not allowed to use
That's
because we
true.
have to knock ourselves out of that the word that you said we can't use. I can't think of another word for it, but a lot of times that's how people end
I'm
up
motivated.
changing. I'm
Unmotivated
sorry.
sometimes. You like unmotivated. I know you said maybe there's a different word, lack of
No, I'm
motivation.
saying a lot of times change comes through, that unrest, civil unrest. Is that
Yeah,
better?
change comes from dissatisfaction. Dissatisfaction brings about change. 100% dissatisfaction brings about a complete change. If you're 50% dissatisfied, it's not gonna move the needle. If you're 75% dissatisfied, that's not gonna move the needle. But when you're 100% dissatisfied, that's when a person says, damn it, I'm not taking this S no more. And they change. But you're right, people do get comfortable, but comfort is a state of mind. Every state of mind has to have a manifestation, and the manifestation for the state of mind of comfort is laziness, because what did every one of our mothers teach us? What speaks louder than words? Action speaks louder than words. And when you're comfortable, you don't take the action. When you don't take the action, that's described as lazy. That's also known as lazy.
All right, give me 1 second, y'all. I see the super chats are coming through. I don't want y'all to feel like I'm ignoring you. Hold on, panel. Give me 1 second.
Money comes to me, flowing effortlessly. Money comes to me, comes to me. Money comes to me, flowing effortlessly. Money comes to me. Money.
All right, this is in the super chat, but I kind of like this comment, so I'm gonna go ahead and read it out. Read it out loud. Only me one kind says I appreciate the male perspective, but I appreciate the healthy communication even more. Be open-minded and less defensive, and the conversation can flow and be beneficial to all parties involved. Yes, yes, yes. That's how we rock over here, right? That's how we rock. We keep it healthy, we keep it whatever, but we can agree to disagree, and everybody has a right to have their own opinion. I think it's great. All right. Her story for Mika Capricorn. Thank you for the 5-piece and the pepper. She says, Ace just trying to find another way to blame women when most men should be coming out the closet or just leave women alone. That's a good point. You like what you like. And we live in a society today that if you don't like women and you prefer men, you can do just that. Samantha LV, member for 15 months, says, Queen, he's proven Ace's point right now. I don't know, Samantha, you may have a point. Kendra coming through with the 10-piece and a pepper. She says, play the white man for Terrence, please. He's too. I think you're trying to say he's too emotional. Terrence, they wanted me to put the white man on.
I'm not emotional at all. I've used facts, logic, reason,
Listen,
statistics, and data.
You don't have to respond to. But they wanted me to put the white man on you. He
What's
don't
the
know
white
what
man?
that is.
I don't need no white. I'm the white man's master.
You
I
gotta
don't need
calm
no white
down.
man.
You too serious, sweetie.
No,
Tell him what the white man is.
life is serious.
Tell him what the white man is, sexy Aria.
So if you're going on too long on certain days, the white man comes on in tears and, to try to put you in a little bit of a timeout. It's a joke. It's a joke. We have fun over here.
Yeah, we have fun over here, Tears. Now you're gonna have to lighten up a little bit now. Now hold on. Black man, you've been quiet. Any final thoughts? Black man is fear.
No, I'm just, listening to the conversation and trying to flow with it. That's all.
Okay. I just want to make sure I give you an opportunity to get in. Let's do this. I know we've been on for almost an hour and 30, but I really wanted to give everybody an opportunity to come up and share. We can agree to disagree. It takes a lot to come on panels sometimes. It takes a lot. It ain't easy, y'all, from the chat, but that's okay. What are your final thoughts regarding today's conversation, y'all, on the panel? Your final thoughts as you begin to take it in, agree, disagree. You have your thoughts, other thoughts. The world has their thoughts. I'm going to start with you, Terrence. What are your final thoughts as it relates to today's conversation?
Well, there's I can't use the word you said, the fight between black males and females is very obvious and it needs to stop. If we've been, what we have to realize is we have been completely destroyed and we're in rebuild mode. The Bible tells us that. It calls us dry bones in the valley. Like the man said in the Matrix, no, Lieutenant, your men are already dead. We have a 90% divorced single mom rate to prove it. Since 1973, there's been 50 to 100 million baby deletions to prove it. So that requires a lot of deep study, deep thought, and we have to, when something is dead, you have to perform something called an autopsy. And what the thing that deleted the black relationship as it's deleted today and deleted the black marriage, deleted the black house, and deleted the black neighborhood, people need to Google the Willie Lynch letter, Final Call, and Google the Moynihan report, where black females learn to think that they don't need no man when God told them that the only thing that they need is a man. And black females' favorite saying is they strong and independent and don't need no man. This is hatred of God. This is telling God to go F himself. And this has to stop in order to rebuild the black relationship, the black marriage, and the black family.
All right. So I see you, Mary C. Face, said you've read it. Well, thank you, Terrence. That's his final thoughts. For those of you that want to check it out, feel free to drop the name in the chat, Terrence. We appreciate you for coming up today.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, y'all. He's gonna drop it in the chat. He's gonna put the name of the rhetoric of whatever you were saying. I forgot the name of it.
The writings and the seminars.
Yeah, he's gonna put that down in the chat. So he's gonna drop down. Thank you, Terrence, again. And then let me go to
I'm gonna have finally the truth put it in.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, baby.
You're welcome. Black man is fair. What are your final thoughts as it relates to today's conversation?
My final thoughts are that, we have to just stay to family, stick to family. If women are interested in creating a family, find family men, find men that want to do the same things that you want to do, instead of forcing somebody to, or trying to pull somebody to try to do something and they're not on the same life trajectory and path as you. So I just want to say that. And I just want to say thank you for having me as always, and peace to the family.
All right. All right. Peace to you. Thank you for coming up. Sexy RN, what are your final thoughts as it relates to today's conversation?
Thank you to the men who came up and offered, contributed to the conversation. I want to thank Terrence for actually saying men and women and not female and man, because that's in a way degrading women. Because we're more than females, just like you're more than males. But I do agree with Terrence. It does start with family. And if you have children, don't teach them loyalty to you. Teach them love with boundaries. Teach them that. Teach them love with and to have boundaries with the love that they're giving. And let them know that it's okay to receive love so that they're growing up healthy and normal, and and don't make it women against man. People are people. So let it start at home.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody, panelists. I'm going to have you drop down now as I give my final thoughts on today's conversation. Thank you all again, y'all. It was a hell of a conversation today, like we always do over here. Like we always do over here. Terrence, I'm going to remove you, but I'm not kicking. It's going to look like I'm kicking you out. I'm just dropping you just in case you're multitasking. Toot Latrice says, great job, gentlemen. Thank you, too. Sandra P says, Queen's Palace. I don't know what I wrote up on Team Replay. Girl, we just be talking. We're tackling a conversation that came across my desk. And actually, somebody inboxed me and asked me, Queen, will you cover this? Now, typically, we don't get that deep into relationships, but we can when we want to. You know what I mean? So only me one con said his perspective is needed. A little less defensiveness can get the points across better, my opinion. Okay, I think you're talking about Terrence. You're saying you agree, but if he just kind of brings it down, he could really make a great impact. And here's the difference, y'all. That's what they call influence. There's a lot of smart people out here in the world. There's a lot of knowledgeable people in the world, but there's a difference between being that and being able to influence. So that's what they're saying, Terrence. If you bring it down a notch, he said he believes you can really, or she's saying, you could really influence people to lean in a little bit more. EBSQ says, great conversation today. Yeah, thank you, everybody. I want to go through a y'all want me to play the argue song for Terrence? We're gonna leave on Terrence. We got something for you. They want me to play the argue song for you. Okay, we're gonna do that. That's a great idea. Let me wrap it up then. Let me go ahead and wrap it up so I can play that. Hold on, let me see. There was a couple of comments that I wanted to give honor to. Cultural misfits that a lot of women will not accept the truth. It's a hard truth. That's true. That's true. I agree. It's very hard for us to sometimes sit in the naked truth. I don't know how you said to say your name. Ms. Williams said we need a PowerPoint presentation. This feels like a meeting, girl. This was a meeting. It turned into a meeting. Listen, a desired orchid says it's their socialization. Most men have never. Ooh, girl, I wish I would have seen this one earlier. She said, it's their socialization. Most men have never seen their mothers resting in femininity, loved or respected. Ooh, this is good. In addition, the women set the bar so low that they don't even need to hunt for a woman. That's a whole different conversation, but you make some excellent points. Only me one kind. Thank you for the 10 piece and the pepper says difficult conversations equals growth. Thank you, Queen. I have to agree. I love hard conversations. If we could keep it all together. Thank you. I agree. I got you. Moonchild says, I wanted to come up so bad. I don't want to get in trouble because every man I've been with couldn't stand me. Siri's picking me. She says, every man I've been with couldn't stand me until I left the relationship. And I mean, none like me. Now, Moonchild, you might have to get yourself in a good Bible-based church, honey. You might have to get yourself in a good Bible-based church. Kia, thank you for the 20p. She says men and women need to respect each other's perspective. Stop thinking that you're right and the other Stop thinking you and the other person is wrong, except we are all here to walk our own paths and be happy when we are blessed enough to walk it with each other. That's lovely. I like that, Kia. That's a great reminder. Karma Brown, yeah, says, so many years with my childhood sweetheart, drama and trauma, I concluded that he not only hated me, but he hates women in general. He told me he had been molested by a family member of his mom's boyfriend. I'm sorry to hear that. And I just want to say this for those of you that are tuned in. What I did not say and share that the guy on the left side of this thumbnail, his name is Ace Metaphor. He was also molested by a man. He was taken of and molestation. Let me explain the difference between SA and molestation. Molestation could indeed be SA. But if you are below a particular age or if there's no penetration, sometimes depending on what state you're in and what laws that state is governed by, they call it molestation. One thing that I've learned, and this is a fact, and this is very important because we don't want to make light of this situation. This is a psychological scientific fact. If a child, if a young adult has been taken advantage of, either way, in a lot of ways, right? If they do not receive intensive therapy, I don't care how well you think you're functioning. I don't care how well you think your child is functioning, performing, you put them in sports. If they do not receive, we're not talking about prayer, intensive psychotherapy, there is a great chance that they can become a predator, not to be confused with an abuser or do something, but they can. There's a high probability that they themselves could become predatory, not necessarily against children. It could be sleeping with a lot of women. It could be financial abuse, sexual abuse, overindulgence. So I just want to put that out there. And I hope you take what you need from today's conversation and you discard the rest. If there's anyone in your family, you yourself included, it's never too late to go sit down and talk to somebody. That's all I'm saying. Because we want to make sure that we disrupt any type of behavioral patterns that could influence our families, our lineage, our children in a negative. That's all. That's all. Okay. Let me see. Okay. Hold on. Okay. I got that one. I think I got everybody's. And with that being said, Terrence, I'm going to have to give you the argue song. I think you earned it. I think you earned it. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We are going to leave with the argue song because Terrence wanted to argue. You want to argue. I can't argue with you. You mad.
You want to argue. You want to argue. I can't argue with you. You mad. I can't argue with you. No. Look at you. Look at you. You mad. Look at you. You big man.